In the business here, you have to either sell out, and by the way, selling out means that if you have decided that this is a place you're going to build a business, then you have to understand that your results will be based on the degree that you sell out to it. Now, if I could give you guys a sort of a mental, not a mental survey, but yeah, I guess it is sort of a visual survey or a mental survey. And I said to you, hey, from a scale of 1 to 10, you being honest now, you being honest with yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the greatest or the highest, where would you fall if I say to you, rate yourself from 1 to 10 on your degree of selling out to your business? Now, let me just stop here for a sec. Selling out doesn't mean you're full-time. It doesn't mean that you've got a full commitment of doing this as your main career. I understand it's part-time here, right? That's the beauty of the opportunity. It's part-time. But part-time or full-time, whichever way you're doing it, doesn't mean that just because it's part-time that there isn't that there should be a less level of commitment to the part-time part of it. So from a scale of 1 to 10, ask yourself honestly, how would you rate yourself in your selling out, in your decision to sell out, in your activity to sell out, in the business so far? Is it an 8? Is it a 2? Now, don't kid yourself now. Human beings are very quick to deceive themselves and become very delusional in avoidance to avoid feeling bad. They'll come up with false impressions of themselves, or they'll come up with false ideas of who they really are, what they're really doing, just to kind of not beat themselves up. But on a scale of 1 to 10, be honest with yourself. Have you sold out? What's the degree that you sold out? 1, 2? See, the degree that you've sold out will produce, will yield that degree of results. If you're at a 4, if you're at a 3, if you're at a 2, well, there's your results. See, it's easy to determine why the results aren't for you as they should be, because it's based on the degree that you have sold out. See, why did I today, just in today, between my conversations this morning and everything I've got today, why did I today, when by the time it's all said and done, why did I make about 10,000 today? I made about 10,000 bucks today. Why? Because I'm sold out. I'm sold out to the business. I'm sold out. And by the way, I don't work, there's people that work full-time jobs who put in more hours than I put in the business here, especially running a family and doing all the other stuff that I'm involved in. So I'm full-time here, but I don't put in full-time hours as if I were at a job. I just learned to maximize my time, because the time that I am involved, I sell out. Client says to me when I was heading out of the house at 5 o'clock, at 5:30 Brooklyn, she says, where are you going now? I said, I got to run to Manhattan, which is the one I had to cancel. I told you guys earlier. I said, I got to run to Manhattan, then I got to go to my office, I got to do a webinar, I got to a client webinar at 8 o'clock, then I got to do something at 9. She says, she says, that's why I could never do what you do. You go running around. And I'm thinking to myself, this lady has no clue. I'm sold out. I love what I do. I'll work today, I'll work tomorrow, I know Friday I'm already doing half a day. Saturday and Sunday I come to the meeting. I'm not really involved much on Saturday and Sundays. I made 10,000 bucks this afternoon. Last week I was telling the guys in our training on Saturday, I made 9,000 last week just on a couple of rollovers. But I've sold out. Have you sold out? See, if you sell out, you won't make excuses not to come to convention. You won't make excuses not to come to a Saturday or Tuesday night meeting at least once every other week. Now, if you're not expecting great things, then you won't do great things. If you're not expecting great results from this, or if you do not want great results from this, then it'll be commensurate with your level of, with your 1 to 10 score on how you have sold out. But you can't kid yourself. If you want greater results, then it requires a greater commitment, and that that boils down to what degree have you sold out. If you try to run a business or relationship or anything else with very little commitment, with a very little degree of an all-in approach, it will fail. And eventually you quit anyway. Isn't that true? Anything that you don't go all in, after a while, don't you actually just quit it? Hasn't that actually happened to you already, where you may join a gym and you didn't really give it all you've got in a gym, you just kind of joined up, and then little by little you kind of faded away? Why? Because you weren't all in. There's something about being all in that forces you to do the things that you normally wouldn't do if you just half-step in it. It happens in anything in life. Isn't that true? Well, it'll happen here as well. And here's the shameful part about it. When the stakes are so high here, the stakes are so high in terms of what this can do for you and your family, why would you not sell out? Even if it is part-time, sell out to the part-time part of it. See, selling out means you won't ever miss, say, an important conference call or training or meeting or convention. You won't miss a day without trying to make some kind of connection with a person about the business. That's what sold out is. You've got to determine how bad you want it to work, and when you determine how bad you want it to work, you have to sell out as to that same degree that you want it to work, and that's when you'll start to see your business take off. Otherwise, it won't work. And as I told those guys, my topic is you either got to sell out or get out. Sell out or get out. I said to a couple the other day, I was doing, like a meeting with a couple, and I was sort of giving them this same message, but in a different degree for some other reasons. And I said to the guy, I said, look, if you don't do what's required of you to make this relationship work, it won't be long before your own spouse will tell you, you got to go. You got to get out. Get out. Why? And they'll have every right to tell you to get out because you haven't held up your bargain. Now, I'm never going to tell anybody to get out because this is a volunteer business, so don't mistake my point here. What I'm saying to you is that you yourself will create the environment, you will create the scenario for you yourself one day to make a decision to get out. You will make a decision to leave. You will look for the exit door. People who quit this business are people who quit because they didn't sell out from the beginning. And eventually, that lack of commitment is what drove them out the door because they didn't see the results they wanted to, so they figured it didn't work or it doesn't work. And it had nothing to do with the results or the business not working. It had everything to do with the fact that they didn't sell out enough to make it work. You have to sell out or you get out. But you can't have it either way. You can, but eventually it doesn't work anyway. I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because there's been scenarios in your lives and in my lives where I've gone through this path. I didn't sell out to it, and eventually I said, screw it. Screw it. There's so much at stake here, guys. There's too much at stake for you not to give it all you've got, to get all in. All in means all in. This contest to Puerto Rico, give me a break. Sell out to that and have fun with us May 15th and get a learning experience down there. Convention, 4 months away, really? Sell out to going and go and watch what that does to your business. Watch what the second half of 2016, watch what happens then. But until you make that decision, it's only a matter of time before you're going to get out anyway.